Hello everyone, welcome once again to Investing with the Difference. So it has been a long time since we did a video, and I was trying to come back and share my thoughts, but it has been like I was on vacation and there's a lot of work we are doing right now. The EOS ecosystem is becoming very powerful in the sense that a lot more development happening. We are getting involved with a lot more developers than what we were doing earlier. So I hope that you did not miss us much. If you did, I hope you will enjoy this video. I will try to cover a lot today, so it may go much longer than usual, but I thought that I have tried to reserve some time today to talk about many things which are happening, and I hope that it will be different from what the usual updates you see in the crypto world, because we always try to talk about some different perspectives. So let's get started without wasting any more time. As usual, I think we will have a quick look at the markets first. So I think we've had a very good roller coaster ride up and down in terms of the market. We were, as we discussed when we last had some videos, some live shows and so on, we were in a bull market and we hit almost $14,000 on Bitcoin, and now kind of becoming less volatile in last few weeks. So that's what we are seeing around between 9,000 to 11,000 area. It's moving in a tight range from a Bitcoin perspective. While I think we did see pretty much all the altcoins getting beaten down in the process. And I think EOS has definitely suffered much more. So if you remember, we did a lot of videos earlier on, I think a month or 2 months back, and especially after the June event. But let's first talk about Bitcoin before I jump into EOS. So this correction is actually very healthy. If you see, we are still way above this 200-day moving average. So it's not really in any manner we are losing momentum. So if you look at bigger picture, when we broke out above this around $5,800 or $6,000 mark, which was like a very big resistance area, we have still, it's in an exponential rise with only part of the correction. We have not even come back to 200-day moving average, while 200-day moving average itself is now moving very fast upwards, which is a great sign. I think that will be the worst case scenario for me, but in general I think it has not even broken down below the previous high, which is in the $9,000 mark. So it's very interesting. It's taking good support here around $9,000, which is not bad. But even if we fall below 9,000, I would say we are still in a bull market. On the other hand, let me go back to the EOS chart. I will try to see the Binance chart because that is the longest history on EOS. Let me see if it's working. Something is wrong. I think this is how it will show up. Yes. So if you remember, we did talk about after the June event when we were breaking down. I did a video showing why EOS is not doing well, and especially when we broke down below this area around 9,000 to 90,000 Satoshi or so. And after that, I think we have been in a significant bear market, which is not unique to EOS. I think a lot of other altcoins are suffering from this. But I think EOS has suffered more than others because it did much better also earlier. But I think now we have even broken down below some of the earlier lows of 50,000 Satoshi, and it's definitely not looking good from relative to Bitcoin. It's kind of forming a bottom here, trying to form a bottom. I would say it's definitely not formed a bottom, and we would like to see how this, whether the alt season comes back. As I keep reminding you, I think again, none of that what we discuss here is an investment advice. We are just observing the charts and I'm sharing my thoughts. But let me tell you, price is not a reflection of what's really fundamentally happening in EOS. And I think it was a lot more to do with the disappointment from block 1 with the event itself, and after that voice is taking longer. There have been a lot of articles being written about it, a lot of discussion happening on what is next. So as you know, and as usual, I think EOS Authority has kept us updated. They have created a very nice graphics of showing what's really going on with 1.8, which is a requirement for voice. And the good news is that September 23rd is identified as the upgrade date, and all the BPs, the top BPs have kind of approved this on chain, and they are working towards it. So let's see how this goes, and this will definitely be a trigger potentially getting more news, but on the charts, definitely it's not looking good. Coming back to the overall market and the Bitcoin itself, as we discussed, it's looking pretty good, and there is a lot of commentary like from technical analysts and other YouTubers that it's not really a fundamental rally. This is maybe not sustainable, because I don't know what they will call as a fundamental rally, because let me show you some evidence of why there is nothing stopping Bitcoin. First of all, Backed, which has been a pretty big deal. I think they're trying to bring Bitcoin futures, they're trying to bring retail integration with Bitcoin and so on. They started this soft launch, their beta program, and another big institutional investment firm, which is Fidelity. I think everybody knows about them. They are launching their digital asset solution, not only custody they are looking to, and actually they have registered just like Coinbase as they want to offer trading opportunities to investors. And this is something, these are very, very big things in terms of basic, when we talk about the fundamentals working towards Bitcoin price growth. Whatever we say about Bitcoin as a currency, I believe the store of value, it makes a lot of sense. When these big institutional investors come in, there will be a lot more kind of big funds investing in Bitcoin, because that's the only brand, as we all know. And if you are not sure why Bitcoin started gaining acceptance, I think a lot of people don't know the story. I think you do need to go back to this 2013 timeline, when actually Cyprus as a country, one of the countries in EU, they took away the funds from people. Like when your savings in the bank, they took away anybody who had more than 100,000 euros. They took that away when the bailout was done for Cyprus by EU. And similarly, there was law enacted in all the other countries like US, UK, all the developed world. There, even when we say that your funds in banks are secure, they are not, because in the event of a bailout in future, there are provisions in the law, and we all need to understand this, that banks, when you deposit your money into the bank, that money belongs to the bank, and you actually own equity in the bank rather than owning your own money. And this law has been passed in most of the countries, and you can lose all your funds in case of another crisis, financial crisis in 2008, just like 2008 what happened. So this is, I think, why Bitcoin has intrinsic value, and what is happening worldwide. People are realizing these things as we are moving towards potentially another crisis, which is I think with the easy money, with negative interest rates being proposed, it's very difficult to say how bad the situation is, while we are all seeing stock market going up and so on. But there is something which these governments are seeing, and they want to keep this easy money floating around. Definitely it doesn't look good from that perspective. So coming back to the EOS, let's now just shift gears and move on to what's really happening with EOS, and a lot of important things, I would say, we are all waiting for. So we did talk about the price doesn't look good, but I am as excited as ever about the development happening in EOS world, as the progress happening. So of course we are all waiting for Voice, and Voice is dependent on, as Dan had explained, that they do need EOS IO 1.8 upgrade. It's a big upgrade because it's a hard fork, and all the BPs have to come together and do it, and that is what I think is pretty much ready, and most of the BPs are working towards September 23rd. Now going back to what other things are happening, I'm very excited about what Liquid Apps is doing. Even though I think we did talk about Liquid Apps earlier, like in terms of VRAM and V accounts and so on, which we are actively using for developing. As you may know, Blockstart is one of the DSPs, that is we are part of the ecosystem in Liquid Apps, and I think we did educate you earlier about how these things are evolving, but now the most exciting part is that Liquid Apps has come out, and they are suggesting that, and we all knew it from their white paper, that their goal is not, while they're developing on EOS, they had a roadmap of IBC and so on, but now they published kind of a tweet and their SDK, which is enabling this Ethereum and EOS cross-chain transactions, which is huge. I think this is something which we all need to appreciate what this team is doing, what this project is bringing to the table, and we being part of the developer community which is working on this Liquid Apps platform, we are very, very excited about it. And this is, I think, very unique, and I think there a lot of people are looking up to, like, what this team is doing. And we have seen that recently even the ICO which is going on in Liquid Apps has gained a lot of attention. The prices have gone up, so it's becoming like a very, very high visibility project, and I hope that this really helps get more attention to EOS and what EOS developers are doing. Then VAX also launched on EOS.io. As you know, VAX is one of the big ERC20 tokens. It had announced early on last year that they will be moving to EOS. So it's not necessarily EOS as the mainnet. They have their own chain, and they're not really calling themselves as the EOS.io chain, but they're using EOS.io technology. And it's more of a matter of kind of validity to the technology. It's may not have direct benefit to EOS as a token, but it does gives you validity that this a big project like VAX is going to help promote EOS.io, especially because anybody who has to develop on VAX, they will have to use EOS.io software, the tools. There will be more and more developers coming into the ecosystem. That's what matters as a community. So even though there is no direct impact to EOS token holder, but it does impact the ecosystem, building this bigger and bigger pool of developers who understand EOS.io, and that is what matters. Again, as I told you, I'm going to cover a lot of things today, so let's keep going and talk about what other things are happening. So EOS Finex, this is a big decentralized exchange which was expected to launch on EOS. So that's happening. I believe it's today. They were originally planning for July 25th. They moved it out to July 30th, which is today. So they must be launching as we speak. So I haven't seen that yet, so I'm waiting for it. But I do believe that they will start with a very few assets. We already have Nudex, which is a very, very successful decentralized exchange, and more and more decentralized exchanges are good for the system. So I think EOS Finex is a big project, so I believe this is everybody's waiting for. So let's see how it goes. What else is happening? I think Item Games, we always talk about. I'm very excited about this project. Their ICO is ongoing, and this is also getting a lot of investment. So while I think we are saying that EOS is not doing very well in with investors perhaps right now, but people are realizing that you can invest in the next level, that is the apps, which will make a lot of money, not just the protocol. And Item Games ICO, the 2 rounds have happened. The first round got sold out in 9 minutes, and second round got sold out in 22 minutes or so. It's the people are lapping up these projects, just like I mentioned that Liquid Apps is getting a lot of attention, Item Games. Then there is another set of projects which I'm very excited about. I think Equilibrium, this is very similar to Maker project on Ethereum. This is collateralized stable coins. This has got almost 4 million EOS locked in this. Similarly, there's a Pizza, which is USDE, which is very similar to that same like Equilibrium. They are also doing the collateralized stablecoin USDE. There are many more such projects launching on EOS, which is pretty good to see that it's not like something which and moreover, I think there has been a lot of discussion about governance recently, so I want to highlight some good things also. While I know that a lot of videos have been done, a lot of people have talked about how the vote buying is happening and so on. Now I did show you that there is a 4 million EOS logged into Equilibrium contract. What they have done is they have created a proxy. So let me show you the proxy system, and they have taken community input, and based on that community input they are proxying, and they are creating a governance model in this project itself. And this is a huge proxy, like it's even bigger than our investing with a difference proxy right now. And as this project grows, and they're voting for some of the great block producers based on community feedback and based on what you and me will select, or later on they are creating a governance token called NUT. which will be they will be using for governance. Then other thing which happened is the positive thing around governance is, as we did discuss earlier, you see in the Brock Pierce proxy, which is again a great proxy, and they are voting for some really good block producers. There was a 5 million EOS from this one account, and let me explain you what is this account. So this is one of the centralized exchanges, BitThumb, which has put this account into this proxy. So that means BitThumb has taken the initiative to not use these tokens of the to their advantage or launching their own BP, but they are actually using a popular proxy to vote for some good block producers. So while we know that a lot of concern has been there that there is vote buying happening, people are selling their votes for highest reward, that's again it's a choice of while I'm not in favor of it, and I do encourage everybody to look at long-term vision. People are looking to sell their votes for like 3%, 4% return right now, but the real value of the chain will be created by BPs who will take this chain forward. And as we did talk about earlier part of this video, that very important things are happening in EOS world, and BPs are responsible for upgrading. So it's your call on how you use your tokens, but don't think that everything is gloom and doom, because there are really some positive things, and these are big accounts. I'm showing 5 million tokens into from centralized exchange, 4 million token coming from a dApp, and these are like 9 million tokens. Is not a small amount. And we do have big proxies like Collins proxy with 7 million tokens. We have our own investing with the difference proxy. All of you are contributing to the positive governance of EOS, and it's just a matter of educating more people and bringing more people on this side of the fence to try to make good decisions for the voting and the governance. Now, coming back to, of course, I think I don't want to dwell on that too much, because I believe that real value creation is happening by dApps, and that is exactly what we are doing. So we did talk about quite a few dApps. We talked about how these collateralized debt CDP projects are coming, how gaming is coming. Then we do want to talk about from Blockstart itself. As you know that we are within Blockstart, we are working on our incubator. We have a lot of apps which we are working with. And one of the apps which we want to talk about is Moonlighting, which is actually going to be one of the biggest app in terms of number of users and the reach in terms of how EOS will get to millions of people. As you know that this is a EOS 1 VC funded application which is not yet on blockchain. So we are working with them to get that launched pretty soon. And this will be it will bring a lot of things together, a lot of technological advancements in terms of course, using VRAM, using the onboarding, which is going to be like really easy for anybody who doesn't understand blockchain to be able to use a blockchain product without even knowing that they are doing it. So I think these are some of the things we are very excited about, and we are like pretty happy that we are able to play a part in it. And this, I think this, what I'm trying to highlight is the kind of development and kind of progress which is happening is not really seen by the world right now. I think it's just going under the radar. Then not just that, we have a lot of other apps which we like you have Lumios, which just started a lot of great stuff and they have actual customers, like corporate customers using this app. Then they have Karma. I think a lot of you know it's doing pretty good from the social network perspective. Privacy Coin, I don't have to talk about it. I think this is a lot of people are very excited about what's going on. Then effect.ai, I think again I do hear about how people are already doing tasks on it, how it's already enabling a lot of people. And these are all real world use cases. We are talking about like none of these are anything similar to what you have seen on any other chain. What I'm trying to highlight is these are use cases which are kind of real world web applications, and these are nothing to do with trying to sell blockchain to a user. It's like blockchain is kind of hidden. You are really showing the utility of blockchain to the users without having them learn all the complexities around blockchain, and that's what is the strength of EOS right from the day one. And that's what I want, I think, which keeps us excited, keeps us involved, and I think that's the promise of EOS. to bring masses to blockchain. And it's not about trying to justify that what is good or what is not. It's more of a matter of, can you bridge the gap between real users and the technology? And moreover, it doesn't necessarily mean that EOS as a protocol or as a coin should see all the benefits, because of course EOS will see benefits if EOS is adopted more, but moreover, it is enabling people, the dApp developers, to build businesses. It's you can monetize it, and these dApps, as we saw with all these new ICOs on EOS, perhaps they are one of the most successful ICOs right now, as even comparing to anything which is being launched on Ethereum, in terms of how people are seeing the potential on in those businesses which are being built on EOS. So the next wave of money will be made on dApps and not on necessarily at the protocol level. That also you need to understand. If we go back to the internet days, protocols did not make money. It was the apps which created a business model on top, and that's what may happen in blockchain world. And this is exactly why I think if you are, whether you're an investor, you're a developer, or just a user, just you need to get involved, and you cannot just hope that this will benefit you in some way or other. So that's why I think we started working on our project with Blockstart, with our incubator, working with so many developers, working with so many different teams, because we realize the opportunity is huge, whether you are developer, investor, or anybody. So do contact us, let us know how, if you are still wondering how to participate. And this I keep repeating, and people who have taken the initiative reached out to us. Some of them did not even know that they can get started so fast, and that is what I think is very important in this new wave of technology progress, and that's what we call Web 3.0. and kind of you are going out in the search of what is going to really change the way we live, we interact with internet applications, and so on. So that is all from my side. I hope this video was useful. As I keep reminding you, you're getting a lot of information. There are a lot of great content on YouTube. I think it's more about perspectives. That's what we try to bring in, and I hope that you are paying attention to these minute details of what's really happening in terms of progress of technology, and not get swept away by these roller coaster rides of price. So, and finally, again, I think I keep reminding you that don't take any of the things which we talk about as investment advice. Even in the apps or the projects I talk about, I cannot cover all of the projects. There are so many. We did talk about at least 10 projects today, but there are 100 more. So in no way this is exhaustive list. In no way these are the only best projects. So do not consider any of this discussion as an investment advice. But of course, we are always available to discuss more about how things are progressing on Telegram channel or anywhere else. And do reach out to us if you are still wondering how to get involved. So thank you. I hope we will be back sooner next time, and not have to wait for many weeks for our next video. And also we will try to get back with our live shows, which was real fun. So thanks for all the support, and do let us know if you have any more feedback. Thank you. Bye bye.